My name is Grant Rich. I'm a PhD research psychologist, consulting psychologist, and also a certified massage therapist from Alaska, the United States. Well, my education began at the University of Chicago, which is one of the best universities in my view, and some of the polls agree with me. For many of the social sciences, I received my PhD in their multidisciplinary program there in psychology, which also touched on sociology, anthropology, education, and some of the other social sciences. And during the course of my education there, I was so involved in my mind and unlocking the secrets of humanity, I really thought that something was missing. I went to massage school. I said, wow, this is just great. This is relaxing. It's more than that. It's therapeutic. But I started to say that, gee, we really don't know a lot about research here. That really began my research career. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth later on. But I could say through my career, I've held academic posts at universities and colleges. I've held consulting gigs. I've worked in the massage industry as an editorial board member, as a reviewer, as the editor of books, as a writer of articles. I've also worked in the massage profession, going around the globe, often in some trouble spots to do some massage therapy, particularly some seated chair massage, which is a very effective way of working with populations where there might not be a lot of physical therapy or massage therapy tables around. Complementary and alternative and integrative medicine has been growing by leaps and bounds in the United States in the latter third of the 20th century and into the 21st century. In the early 1990s, David Eisenberg at Harvard did an excellent survey that showed that 1 in 3 people in the United States of America are utilizing some form of complementary, alternative, or integrative health care, and that rose to well over 40% when he did a follow-up study about 7 years later. Supporting that has been the massage therapy industry, and there are several organizations of massage therapists. The two major ones are AMTA and ABMP. And ABMP typically services massage therapists as well as other forms of body work, whereas the AMTA focuses more exclusively on massage therapy and historically and to the present day really has a certain cachet when it comes to research and when it comes to education, when it comes to credentialing and professionalization. Affiliated with AMTA, which is our largest, very close in size to ABMP, but it's about 40,000 members. The United States has about 300 million people. The AMTA also has historically been affiliated with the National Certification Board, the NCB-TMB, and there's about 83,000 certificants, and they have recently upped the ante for certification from a baseline level of about 500 hours, which was always recognized as an entry-level starting point, to 750 hours, which is really big news. Having that national certification allows people a little bit more possibility of portability of credential if they want to move to another one of the 50 states. Not all the states accept it yet. Perhaps in the future they will accept that credential. Some of the 50 states have no licensure certification. Other states have their own kind of statewide type of certification or credentialing, and some states even have municipality types of credentialing. Each individual city has their own licensing or certification kind of structure. So it is complex, but AMTA has really been at the heart of things. They published the Massage Therapy Journal, which is great. One of the perks of membership, in addition to your practice insurance, is you get a subscription to the AMTA's Massage Therapy Journal, which publishes trade articles, interviews with massage therapists, with practitioners, practice tips, discussions of equipment, the various types of software packages that are around. And they also publish some research too, both full-length articles and sometimes synopsis of some of the research. Well, there's another massage trade periodical called Massage Magazine that's not affiliated with any of the organizations, and that has advantages and disadvantages. They can do different things because they're independent. One of the neat things they do is towards the end of the magazine, in each issue, they publish a map of the United States that gives the rules and regulations, how many hours are required, what exam is required, is the national exam accepted. And most recently, it's been about 45 states. Some states are in process, they're developing the legislation. A few states, though, I'm pretty dubious that they're going to get statewide licensure anytime soon for a variety of reasons. Vermont is a very sophisticated, very educated state on the East Coast. But a lot of their practitioners really want independence. They want freedom of access, both for themselves as practitioners and for their clients. The people of the state they don't want to be told who they can go to, who's going to be reimbursed and who's not. So I think for reasons of independence, Vermont isn't going to sign up anytime soon. Other states like Alaska, it's the largest state in all the United States. It's about 2.5 times the size of Texas. And because of various issues with geography and expense, I always say sometimes organizing massage therapists is like herding cats. And this is especially true with the really vast landscape we have in Alaska. It may be in the future there'll be a statewide licensure certification. There's been lots of talk about that, but I'm not holding my breath right yet. And all this has pros and cons. Every state, this is part of the United States, there's the federal level and the state level, and the states are allowed, part of the American way, to have a certain amount of independence. With the massage, I've been very impressed with the group that was put together for this particular event. I think it was very prudently done in the sense that we had practitioners, we had educators, we had researchers, we had both folks who were directly involved with massage and those who might be looking at complementary, alternative, and integrative health more broadly from a research point of view. So it was incredibly stimulating. All sorts of ideas were percolating about, a huge amount of enthusiasm. And I also think we have a number of folks who have demonstrated follow-through, both in the leadership roles that they've held, in the research that they have published. We have world leaders who have published extensively on the topic of complementary, alternative, and integrative medicine, including massage. And to have that kind of crack team all assembled here is it's special. Well, let me mention two. The first one would be earlier on, which was a 2002 edited book I did on massage therapy research. And at that time, there really was nothing available that put massage therapy research all in one place. The literature has been scattered around all over the place. You'll see it in physical therapy journals. You'll see it in occupational therapy journals. Occasionally you see an article or two in psychology. But no one was talking with each other. There was no one place where everyone could say, this is the state of the art of massage therapy research, or this is what we know about massage. So an edited book, by definition, is collaborative, right? It's the authors, the researchers that I invited in who are doing incredible research on massage and all of its various clinical conditions and various implications across the lifespan. So that project I was very proud of. I was proud to have practitioners and leaders find the book and get the book to two practitioners. The title is, The Evidence for Practice. Because I am a massage therapist as well as a researcher, I always kept that in mind. What's the purpose of all this research? Who's going to actually use it? And each of the chapters in there does make recommendations for how this can be relevant to everyday kind of massage therapy practice. And there's also several chapters on research methods. What are the appropriate methods for massage? How are research methods for complementary, alternative, and integrative medicine, particularly massage therapy, different or similar to the types of research methods that are common in social sciences or medical sciences as well? The U.S. is not the leader in number of hours. I'm not sure that number of hours directly correlates with quality of education, but it may a little bit. It's something to think about. It's something to consider. So some nations may have 2,000 or 3,000 hours of education required. Some Canadian provinces, British Columbia has very stringent credentialing. You could cover a lot more material. You get a lot more practice. You could learn a lot more stuff theoretically, and I think actually in practice this probably does occur. I know it does occur. The United States started kind of low with the 500 hours because they wanted to get that transportable credential so that it could move across state lines, and once a student graduated they would be able to practice theoretically at least in another state. Some states now have gone beyond even the minimum 750 to 1,000 or even more. Who knows what the future holds? Probably more and more education will be required. The NCBTMB, the U.S.-based certification board, does credential some schools internationally. So you'll see some in the Caribbean region, right, and perhaps in the future more elsewhere that have to meet pretty stringent requirements in the educational background of their faculty in terms of what the curriculum covers. They have to document some financial types of things. They have to document they're keeping appropriate grade books, all the things you do when you accredit a school. So it's pretty stringent. Not all U.S. schools are NCBTMB accredited, but it is one way if you're an international school and you want to show that you've arrived or that you're a legitimate academic enterprise. That's certainly one thing you could do. Professional organization like the AMTA really helped build professional massage therapy in the United States with its professional publication, with helping with providing support for the individual states with legislation, with funding research too. The Massage Therapy Foundation came from the AMTA and typically funded a couple smaller studies each year. But the problem with massage therapy research is sometimes the large medical schools, they're not as much interested in it. They're more interested in research on pharmaceuticals or herbal remedies. So who funds massage therapy research? Well, perhaps the best answer is massage therapists can. And one thing you could do is you could take a portion of your dues to your professional organization and say each year we're going to save a little bit of money for this. Then ultimately we're going to create a grant proposal review board, and we are going to fund a study or a couple studies through a competition each year specifically on massage therapy. And again, that's giving back to the profession, that when you pay your dues, you know you are also ensuring yourself for future success. Well, most massage therapists do not work full-time. So we have kind of as a profession redefined what it means to be a full-time massage therapist. Working a 9 to 5 hour job doing a massage every hour of every day would be excruciating. You couldn't do it for very long without your body would fail you. It really would. And so there actually is a pretty high attrition rate. And one of the reasons for it is because people don't know self-care. They don't know body mechanics. Maybe there's so much to cover in massage therapy school that the business end of things and the self-care body mechanics doesn't get as much attention as it should. Massage therapists should educate themselves about that. There are some continuing education units you could take about that. There are some books and some educational videos that you could see about that are very helpful. I highly recommend, because you're ensuring your longevity by paying attention to that. Other thing is to be smart about business. Like I say, the school curriculum is so busy that students, they're like, oh, I want to do massage. I want to be my own boss perhaps, or set up my own practice privately. But they don't know the first thing about advertising or dealing with local rules and regulations and zoning and this kind of thing. So schools can and should cover that a little bit more, at least if they don't have time in the regular curriculum, offer optional, say, seminars so that students can come. And my guess is most students would show up for something like that to learn about it. So on graduation in the United States, what most massage therapists do, some do set up private practice. Some do work with a larger healthcare establishment. It's more and more common to see hospital-based massage or medical massage. More and more insurers in the United States are paying for it. More and more physicians are learning about the benefits of massage, in part because of the research coming out of AMTA and the Massage Therapy Foundation, some of the books and articles that have been done. So they're more apt to include that in their things that they fund in their insurance plans, and to hire massage therapists, if not full-time, several days a week or part-time. Working in a chiropractic office has been a classic kind of partnership in the United States. It doesn't always pay as well, but it's great for particularly beginning therapists, and sometimes a very advanced therapist too, because you don't have to worry about the business end of things. You just show up and you do the massage therapy, and you're helping the public and you're helping the chiropractor. It might not pay as much, but again, you don't have to worry about the rent, you don't have to worry about advertising, and so on and so forth. Beyond that, some people, they may never practice. They just wanted it for personal self-growth or personal well-being. Or sometimes you encounter someone who has a family member who maybe has a chronic disease or something like this, or illness, that they would like to be able to offer a little bit more sophistication in their care. You know, different nations have different rules and issues with caring for a relative informally or formally, so you'd want to check with your local regulations before doing massage therapy work with a relative, but that is something I've noticed in some places in the United States. One thing we need to do with our students is to be frank and honest with them about the career realities. Many are so enthusiastic. It's a terrific, wonderful career. It has so much to offer. You're helping the public. Usually people, unlike when they see the dentist, they're so happy to see the massage therapist. That said, we do need to let the students know that, like I say, you're not going to be working 9 to 5, doing a massage every hour, day in, day out, year in, year out in independent private practice. It's just not feasible or sustainable. So think realistically. If you're taking out student loans or you're planning things financially, learn a little bit of the business ends of things. Learn a little bit of research. I think learn a lot of research. I think it's such an important insurance policy for staying current in the field. You're not going to know your discipline 5 years now or from 10 years now when we have evidence that shows a particular technique works or doesn't work. You're going to have to go back and do your whole program again. But if you take research methods, you're going to be able to educate yourself for a lifetime. Absolutely, the government should cover that. And I think even if you're, a really cruel policymaker, you will see it makes financial sense, right? I mean, if the bottom line is financial sense, even if you don't care about people, if you care about finances, massage therapy makes sense. You will save money because back surgeries and medications typically are a heck of a lot more expensive than massage therapy, even weekly massage therapy or a couple sessions of massage therapy each week, right? You're also less likely, and I'm not going to speak about a particular case or anything, you're less likely to have various side effects from massage therapy. The adverse side effects of massage therapy are very, very, very rare. Overall, it's an incredibly safe healing modality. In fact, the thing that gets people most is not the massage itself, it's getting on or off the table, right? An elderly person might need assistance or something like that, and even that is extremely rare. So yes, you could also look at some of the meta-analyses that have been done on massage therapy for things like reducing anxiety, anxious mood, and depressed mood. Again, there's a huge industry, and I have my PhD in psychologist. I am an advocate for psychology as well. And when I first saw the data on massage, I was like, wow, I have to check this out. And then study after study and meta-analysis confirm you are seeing significant reductions in depressed mood and anxious mood. And again, this is so valuable for a couple reasons. It's valuable because sometimes it's more cost-effective than talk psychotherapy with a PhD. It can be more cost-effective than a medication, right? And there may be cases too where a person for, say, religious reasons or say for they're taking multiple medications, they can't take a medication that might help with one of the psychological disorders, and so all that's left is massage. So for all these reasons, it's very important to investigate it further and to have physicians, psychiatrists, psychologists, and counselors well aware of the healing benefits of massage therapists for reducing anxiety and depression. Governments could save a lot of money on that. A lot of the workplaces larger workplaces in the United States are now having workplace massage days where you will bring a special massage chair into work and the person can stay at their seat or on their coffee break, come and have a quick back massage or chair massage that will cover their back, perhaps their arms. And the studies clearly show that attendance, absences are way down that day. Everyone comes for the day where they're going to get the free massage. But more than that, it persists for a longer time. If you have regular massage in your workplace, say every other week or monthly, it really helps improve morale and reduces overall the level of absences and the utilization of other more expensive forms of health care. AMTA for me in the United States was enormously helpful. Often some of the professional organizations, and I don't know about AAMT, offer a student rate, and that's great. Take advantage of that if you can, right? It's part of your professionalization. You're welcomed into the profession. You're going to get the various emails, the various mailings, various publications. You'll learn the issues that are going to be confronting you upon graduation. do it for sure. Students often don't have a lot of money, but this is not where to cut corners. Be a member of your professional organization. It will help you career-wise, it will help you professionally. And then, once you're professional, I think it will go without saying, maintain it. I think you will want to maintain it. In the United States, the AMTA offers professional insurance, and some people, right there, it's worth your money, right? But above and beyond that, in the United States, you get the Massage Therapy Journal, you get the e-newsletter, which will tell you all about various funding opportunities, developments professionally, when national conferences are, and go to these conferences, go to these meetings, go to these conventions, network. A lot of folks get into massage therapy because they do have that dream of private practice, but don't be in isolation. You're not going to be able to stay up with the trends in the profession. You're not going to know what the latest issues or techniques are, what works, what doesn't work, where the profession is going, what consumers would like, what they don't like. Professional organizations serve an absolutely vital and essential role. Even if you're very independently minded, you want to see what your professional organization has to offer you, and some of these surveys of the profession are invaluable. You would want to know, gee, is my private practice similar or different to others? Are others working more hours a week, less hours a week? Maybe you learn that the average massage therapist has 1/3 of their clientele over age 65, elderly or senior clientele or something like this. And you could look at your own clientele and say, gee, here's an area of growth for my particular practice. I am less than average on that particular thing. Or you could see techniques that consumers are saying that they would like. Maybe they want more Swedish massage therapy, or maybe they want a different kind of massage technique. You can learn that from attending your professional conventions, reading your professional publications, and the center and the core of that is the membership to your professional organization. Well, I think one of the things to keep consider is sometimes in some disciplines, folks do research and no one ever reads it. Maybe a couple other people read it and it's like, oh, yeah, yawn. But with the massage therapy research, really, there is a huge amount of interest. And I find that certainly from the massage therapists who say, I wondered, if this modality worked, or I wanted to know, what is the state of the art of this particular massage therapy technique? Is it effective for this clinical condition or not? This is, again, news a therapist can use, a massage practitioner can use on a daily basis or in their practice. They want to know this, and being able to provide that information and to have the insights myself as a massage therapist when I am evaluating research, thinking, I'm evaluating an article, say, hey, here's an article, but it's clear to me it's written by someone who's doing pure research and has never maybe even had a massage. They don't know really what they're talking about. It doesn't make sense. And I think in many cases I can serve as an effective liaison between the massage therapist and the research community. And it's important to have that dialogue and to keep the channels of communication open. Likewise, on the researcher side of things, in the allied health profession and health psychologists and psychologists in general, I'm surprised at what a large amount of interest I'm getting as I publish these articles. If I publish in a psych journal, they become frequently cited, and I'm often a little bit surprised. I'm like, wow, there really is an interest in practicing clinicians, therapists in psychology are interested. I wrote one article about how, when, why to use massage therapy or not to use massage therapy. Basically everything a psychologist or counselor should know about massage therapy, but did not know, all in one article. These are busy clinicians. You might not have time to read the scattered literature in medicine and physical therapy and occupational therapy. So it's supposed to be the go-to place that the busy practicing therapist, the counselor, could go and learn about what massage therapy can do. So kind of a primer on the different kinds of massage, some of the screening questions, a little bit of background on education and credentialing for therapists, and what types of clinical conditions massage therapy may or may not be effective to. So I would present the research on reduced anxiety and reduced depression, massage for chronic pain conditions, and so on and so forth. Everyone always wants more funding, but honestly and truly, I work both in psychology, which I think there can always be more funding there too, but in massage therapy, in many nations, there needs to be a start. There needs to be a more massage therapy funding research, without a doubt. And it doesn't have, I'm not going to put a dollar amount on it, but it's much less than one might initially think. You can accomplish so much with some of these types of survey research and smaller experiments and even case studies that will pave the way for the future and just yield dividends for generations to come. It's well worth every penny on that. That said, too, I think more types of conferences that welcome in both researchers and practitioners, and that also is very cost effective, because you need the practitioners to talk to the researchers, and you need the researchers to talk to the practitioners, without a doubt. And spending a day is great. Spending several days is even better. To keep an ongoing collaboration is best of all. And some of the really great massage therapy research that's coming out now does welcome in the practitioners, either as therapists who have been trained in how to do, say, manualized protocols or to follow an experimental protocol, or as co-PIs who are actually serving as one of the co-authors there, because they have made a substantial intellectual contribution by educating the researcher about, say, the different massage therapy techniques that the researcher would really have no idea about. So we all got to talk together. We're all in this together. We all need to work together. The one article I did for psychologists and helping professionals is published in an American Psychological Association journal, an APA peer-reviewed journal called Professional Practice. And the article title roughly was Massage Therapy, Its Significance and Relevance to Psychology. And the idea, again, was a lot of psychologists don't know about massage therapists or counselors. So how do you know when to make a referral? What do massage therapists do? What is their education? How do I know if this is a qualified massage therapist or not? So I did some basic things like introduce them to the AMTA and to the NCB-TMB and some of the credentialing requirements nationally, what was typical, what was less typical. A little bit of the article talked about some of the major different types of massage therapy. Some of the major distinctions are between massage, which involves a deeper, firmer touch, and a lighter passive touch or no touch at all. And then we talked about some of the clinical conditions in there, just a rough guide, if you will, to its effects on reductions in anxiety, reductions of depression, reductions in pain, some of the other clinical conditions like massage for weight gain in premature infants, massage for immune disorders and chronic disorders. All this was in there. Now I think the next stage would be to write similar articles, but for each of the various clinical conditions. So let's have a whole article that views the article through the lens of being both a massage therapist and a researcher who is trying to communicate to other helping professionals information that they should know. And hopefully the articles, one way to go is to write the article for the helping professionals, the counselors and the talk therapists. The other way to go is to write it for the massage therapy community or bodywork community. And sometimes I do that. I'll write versions of articles, one which is radically adapted for massage therapists, others which is radically adapted for a talk therapist who have to explain basic things about what massage therapy entails. For when I describe something to the massage therapist, I might describe some of the research concepts or research terms. And again, this gets back into the idea that the literature has been scattered about. It's in physical therapy, it's in occupational therapy, it's in nursing, it's in medicine, it's in psychology. The 2002 book brought it all together. We're now in 2015. Hopefully, another project is to do another type of edited volume like this that, again, brings it all into one place. We are in a different place in 2015 than we were in 2012. We have a few more massage-dedicated publications. We would like to see them more widely disseminated with even tougher standards for review and more submissions, more international. And I think efforts and progress have been made in that respect. And I still think there's an important role that can be played by the edited volume. Some people do just like to have that book in hand. And I think that the future looks exciting to me. I mean, it's events like we had this week are just fabulous, are super. They're more than a step in the right direction. They're a leap in the right direction, and I'm excited to be part of it.